Hi, I am Teena and you're watching Money 9. Today we are going to talk about general insurance industry which saw a steep surge in claim due to COVID-19. It was also the time when policyholders complain about rejection of claim and also denial of cashless facility. Will the rise in claim lead to increase in premium rate? Has the underwriting practice of insurers changed due to COVID-19? To discuss this and more, we are joined today by Shreeraj Deshpande. He is CEO of Future Generali India Insurance. Thank you, Mr. Deshpande, for joining in today on this edition of Special at 29.
Thank you.
Mr. Deshpande, during the second wave, we saw the hospitals were flooded with patients, and it was one of the toughest time for hospitals as well as the insurance industry. So, how was your experience during that time? And based on the visibility we have now, what are the some of the trends that you have been watching in the COVID as well as non-COVID claims this year?
Yes, the second wave was actually much severe than the first wave in terms of the hospitalizations, as well as the people rushing to hospitals, as well as the cashless request, the pressure on the insurance company. So it was a difficult time for everyone. The patients, the insured, who are the insureds, then the hospitals, the medical staff, as well as the insurance companies. Now, in fact, the claims in these 3 months surpassed what you had actually been happened in the previous year. So that the number had in these 3 months was very, very high. Now, fortunately, things are settling down. We have seen that most of the places, the hospitalizations have reduced, and the severity of the disease has reduced all over the country. During that time, there were challenges which I think many people have discussed. I think media has also played. I don't want to go into those challenges again. Now, what we see is post-COVID, we have suddenly seen that non-COVID claims, the cost of claims have started increasing. So, which means the hospitals have raised their tariffs for non-COVID claims also, or their general tariffs. So, we are seeing increase in the cost of claims, which means that the claims outgo is going to be more than the premiums at a much higher level. So it's going to be some sort of a double whammy. Insurers suffered because of COVID claims, and again now due to non-COVID claims, also the increase in the claims outgo is going to be a stress on the insurance companies.
So you are saying the industry watched increase in claim and it has been the trend. So will the increase in claim, the cost of claim passed on to consumers at future point at any given point of time?
See, it has to be, because insurance companies are basically collecting premiums from people, and they are managers of funds, actually policyholders fund, and then paying for the needy. So if that fund is not sufficient, insurance companies will have to raise their prices, because it's not that they generate any money out of their own. It is something, your the insurance is a concept where you just pool and then you pay for those unpredictable losses which are happening. So this is going to happen. This would lead to increase in prices, the premiums over the period of time. For retail products, insurance companies need to have regulators, okay for you. So you need to file products, etc., and all. But corporate health, we are already seeing some increase in pricing, which is happening.
So this increase in premium might be specific to COVID specific policies because we saw in the past that claims were very high, especially in the COVID specific policies. So, are we talking about the broad trend in all the health policies, or are we talking only about the COVID specific policies right now?
Specific policies may lose their relevance shortly. I mean, they are very specific disease type policies. It's always good for any individual. I would rather say every person should go in for a comprehensive health insurance. COVID is today. Tomorrow you can have another pandemic coming in. That will not, COVID specific policies will not cover that. So in fact, a person should get himself covered, on a comprehensive health insurance policy. But what we have been seeing is the loss ratios for the comprehensive insurance policies, even in taking into effect the COVID claims, etc., are higher, because, as I said in the earlier this, that even for non-COVID hospitalizations, the rates for hospitalizations have started increasing. So this is going to be a stress on the loss ratios for the insurance companies. other than even the COVID claims. So overall, we will definitely see some increase in prices.
As you said, Mr. Deshpande, that premium rates might increase because increase in claims that we saw in the second wave. But going forward, what are the learnings from the second wave that the industry has taken? And if the third wave hits the country, how prepared the company or the industry is?
See, if you look at the insurance industry, we were quite prepared in terms of handling claims. So we have always been prepared in terms of, as far as when we talk about calamities or catastrophes. So whether they are, maybe this has come, health catastrophe has come first time, but usually every year you have floods, you have cyclones, so you have many, once in a while you could have earthquakes. So I think insurance companies are quite capable of handling such situations. Now, what was the main thing which came in here? You could see that even the insurance regulator pitched in very positively by insisting on insurance companies to actually have time bound decisions in terms of cashless. So they put in certain conditions which were there. So insurance companies did. I think while we had situations where even employees of insurance companies were affected, we had pressure on that, but insurance companies were able to meet those timelines, and those data were actually, that data was even monitored by the regulator. So and the amount of claims, the cashless claims, or the total, I think that has been a humongous task for the insurance companies, and they have done it well. Now, learnings, when you say yes, I think there is a learning not only for the insurance company, it is for the entire sector. If you want health insurance to grow, you need to see that the healthcare sector also gets regularized. So the problem is, we don't have any regulations in the healthcare sector, so it's an unregulated, whereas insurance companies are heavily regulated at all angles, and they have watched that there are different modes of grievance handling. You have got the ombudsman, you have got the consumer courts, you have got the regulator, insurance mechanisms for addressing issues are there. However, the healthcare sector, you need to have some uniformity. Once you have some uniformity and standard operating procedures, some sort of rationalization, or maybe uniformity in pricing strategies of the hospitals, etc. So if this happens, I think it would help the insurance companies to serve the customers much better, because you today's situation, it's a bit difficult when you don't have uniformity. It becomes a it's for individual case, the same type of a hospitalization in two different hospitals of the same nature, you could have variations in prices, or in the same hospital for two different patients for the same treatment, you could have variations in prices. One is considering is an insured patient, one is not, is considered not an. So I think those types of things are there where you need to have. And if health insurance has to grow, and this, I think one of the most important learnings is people have awareness of health insurance has increased. People have known now health insurance is one of the most important thing which every individual should have, and hope so. My only reasoning here is, I hope it is, the awareness is not due to fear, but it's a general actual awareness which says that okay, we need to have a payer in mind, an insurance policy in place to ensure such take care of such situations. And and with this awareness, the health insurance can grow. Once there is more number of people coming under the ambit of health insurance, you could see a lot of rationalization of things happening. There will be no selection against insurers. You could have even the pricing settling down across geographies. So a lot of things happens if the numbers grow.
Right. And you made a very valid point that we need a regulator for this industry, healthcare industry, because there is no standard procedure that has been followed for treatment. So that will help moving forward the insurance industry also. But this is valid for the claim side of the insurance policy. But if I talk about the underwriting practices, do you think that COVID-19 has in somewhat changed the underwriting practice of insurers? Is it difficult for somebody already recovered from COVID to get a health insurance policy? Now, has the circumstances changed?
See, the only point which comes in here is insurers, yes, underwriting guidelines as such for other regular underwriting practices continue the same. Specific for COVID, yes, insurance companies do keep a waiting period from the date of recovery. General practice being followed is, if he has recovered, they may wait for 3 months to actually evaluate him and give him a policy. Or if the person was, and it also depends, if he was just mild type of a the person had undergone mild COVID, then it could be a 3 months period. But if it was a very severe COVID, he was in hospitals for 15, 20 days, 25 days, insurance companies may insist on a longer waiting period and evaluation after that to issue a policy. But there is nothing like you will not give a policy or something. It's just like treating a person any other illness. Also, if he had an illness and he has just recovered 3 months back, we always wait. So any major illness is there, as insurers, we would always, medical underwriting would always ask for, let's wait for some time and then re-evaluate the patient and then go. If he has recovered, go ahead and
Earlier, it was possible for somebody to get health insurance policy without undergoing a rigorous medical checkup. But how is the scene now? Are the insurers or your company demanding
No,
medical
there is
tests
no change.
before
No, there
they
is no change. See, in fact, today also what happens is most of the policies which are underwritten up to a particular age, say up to 55 years of age and say 20 lakhs, or it depends upon from insurance company to insurance company. Some insurers would say 45 years of age and 10 lakhs sum insured. Some would say 55 years and 10 lakh. Or we have gone up to even 50 years or 55 years, where we say if he is no declaration, if he has not suffered from any illness and he has his proposal form is clean, we don't insist for a medical test at all. So it's only if people who are above 55 or above 60 years of age, or who have declared that they have got some illness, they have suffered from illness, and depending upon what that illness etc is, the types of tests are prescribed. But otherwise, if you ask me, that there is, as far as underwriting practice, only for people who have declared that they had undergone COVID. Okay, I mean, they had suffered from COVID. Other than that, I don't. There's no change in any underwriting practice for insurance companies.
That's a good news. No change in the underwriting practice. But if we talk about innovations, COVID-19 has been the testing time. So, what kind of innovation we can see going forward, given the consumer requirements have changed and the industry has also like digitized and has better resources to provide and cater to their customers. So having said that, what are the innovations that you are focusing on from your company's perspective?
See, there are a few things which came as blessings in disguise during this pandemic. One was use of technology. So the most important thing was right from insurance companies, in general insurance companies, there is always an intermediary involved. So an intermediary who sources business, etc. So earlier there used to be issues about intermediaries using digital modes, but today insurance, because of the pandemic, even the intermediaries started using digital modes of prospecting customers. So customers are so everything has become digital. So with digitalization, the policy issues, everything, the service levels get much quicker, and a lot of customer satisfaction comes in. Now, second thing which has happened is telemedicine, teleconsultations, so online consultations, which were not picking up in the earlier period, which was there. So you suddenly saw an increase in requirements for this. You wanted people wanting teleconsultations. Telemedicine was there. Medicine started getting delivered. Even the prescriptions were online. Medicine started getting delivered to their people at home through e-portals, or tie-ups with medical companies, etc. And third is moving towards wellness. I think insurance companies have been trying to push wellness benefits. It's today the country has always had hospitalization insurance, so it was more like we treat you when you are hospitalized. But today we are now trying to move that we prevent illness. So why not we look at keeping the person healthy? So inculcate practices in the insured persons, that they remain healthy and they don't need to get hospitalized. So I think this is where the industry has to move to, that wellness becomes more important. Sort of you're managing the care of the individual becomes more important, so that hospitalizations actually starts decreasing. So seriousness also, person keeps lives a good healthy life. Third point, fourth point, when I talk about wellness, distinguish between two things. One is physical wellness, and second is mental wellness. Mental wellness became very, very important during this period of pandemic. And while even there have been the regulator, as well as there have been judgments about treating mental illness on par with other illnesses, and some guidelines have been issued, etc. But in spite of all this, I think the importance of mental illness also has come up during this period of pandemic, and we have seen a lot of people going in for these consultations, and actually work from home, even for professionals or people working have been under pressure, and they have been using these consultations, etc. So it's not only physical wellness, it is physical wellness, mental wellness brings in the total wellness part. So see that the person is happy and living in a disease free environment.
Thank you, Mr. Deshpande. As you said, that mental wellness is equally important as we pay attention to our physical wellness. Thank you once again for coming on Money Line and giving us 360-degree view of the insurance industry. Thank you again. This was Shreeraj Deshpande from Future Generali India Insurance. He told us why buying health insurance is important during COVID-19. It takes care of your physical as well as your mental well-being. If you like the video, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you for being on Money 9.